premiums for our National Guard members who are on state active duty orders for more than 30 days. The goal of the bill is to ensure our National Guard members are receiving the same benefits for state orders as federal orders. We're going to remove that first section of the original bill regarding pay because of some confusion as to where folks would live. It could actually have some negative consequences and decrease their pay. So I didn't want to impact any of that. So we removed that section. That was the change now to this committee sub. And with that, I am happy to answer any questions.
Other questions from the committee to the bill sponsor? Senator, do you have some witnesses to present as well?
I believe we do.
Okay,
Yep.
if you will have them come up. Good morning, sir. If you wouldn't mind to state your name, and then if you would please fill out a form if you haven't done so already, and all the other witnesses, if you will do the same, leave for the committee or later. Thank you.
Thank you. Chairman Moon, esteemed members of the committee, my name is Will Blaylock. I'm a retired Major General from the Missouri National Guard. I served just over 39 years in the Guard, and I'm currently the Executive Director of the Missouri National Guard Association, which is a 501c19 organization that's dedicated to enhancing the well-being of the nearly 10,000 Missouri National Guardsmen and their families. I appear before you today to convey my support for Senate Bill 925. This is a key component of this legislation that addresses our Guard members who are on state active duty for more than 30 days. If passed, they will receive an allowance to pay for TRICARE premiums of our or other government-sponsored insurance programs for the duration of the period of active duty. This fills a hole that isn't provided for our Guardsmen during state active duty. That is provided when they are on federal active duty. So, and as stated, issues related to BAH and pay have been corrected recently, and we appreciate the care shown to fix this over the past several years. I commend this committee for its steadfast commitment to those who have served and continue to serve our great state. Your support for Missouri's military community is invaluable, and I extend my sincere appreciation for your dedication to the well-being of our servicemen and women. Thank you for your time and consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for the witness? Senator Nicola.
I just have one comment. I want to thank you for your service, and gentlemen, ladies, thank you so much for your service to our great nation and our state. Appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, thank you, Major General. Any other witnesses? If you are here, please come up. Seeing none. Senator, thank you for your presentation. We spoke earlier, yesterday in fact, about some provisions, and hopefully we can make some accommodations to make this a grander bill. So thank you for that. And any other comments?
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Senator Schnelting, before you go up, I guess if there are no other comments or questions about Senate Bill 959, we'll end that discussion. And now let's go to Senator Schnelting. 925, yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
Schnelting,
Chair.
You have 1003, I believe?
Yes, that's
Okay.
right. That's
When
right.
you're ready. It looks like I interrupted your start. So
No, you're good. Thank you,
continue on
Mr.
if you will,
Chair.
please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, members of the committee. Yes, introducing Senate Bill 1003. This is we have a committee sub for it. Let me just kind of run you through what this does. Most of it is clarifying language. Some of it helps with some duplicative processes or archaic processes that we currently have in statute that can be either clarified or altered. The first thing it does is the Act changes who serves on the panel that advises the the Adjutant General on giving out money or support from the Missouri Military Family Relief Fund. It changes it from Sergeant Major to Senior Enlisted. That way, we have, for instance, someone from the Air Guard could serve on that in that capacity. The Act also creates three Missouri National Guard ribbons: the Counter Drug Program ribbon, the Homeland Response Force ribbon, the Engineer Explosive Ordnance Clearance Agent ribbon. The Act also creates the Cybersecurity Mission Act, allowing the Missouri National Guard to help with cybersecurity work. the Act it creates the Cybersecurity Revolving Fund as well. It allows the Missouri Veterans Commission to use the Veterans Commission Capital Improvement Trust Fund to cover costs of awards, allows the spouse or the eldest living survivor of a veteran who qualified but died before applying to request the following rewards on their behalf, the veteran's behalf. The Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation New Dawn, Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Freedom Sentinel, Operation Allies Refuge, and Operation Desert Shield, and Operation Desert Storm. That was currently the case for like World War II and Korea, Vietnam. This just kind of brings some parity between all of those. It also removes the rule that the National Guard must first, that National Guardsmen must first use their GI benefits before they can utilize their state TA or the tuition fee waiver. And it also eliminates the military council. There will probably be questions, so I'll just open it up with that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for that run-through. I have a question with regard to the revolving fund. And then there apparently is a fiscal note, which I don't have right in front of me. Can you explain how the revolving fund would work and then what might be the fiscal note attached?
Yeah, I have to take a look at the fiscal note. I actually don't. I don't think I have that with me, Mr. Chair, but we can get that. But the bottom line is, with the fund, since we had the creation of the Missouri Department of National Guard as its own separate entity apart from DPS. DPS had, or actually, you know what? No, I'm sorry. Did you say the counter drug or the cyber?
This would be the cyber.
Yeah, forgive me. So that I was actually responding. I thought you were mentioning the other. So I'm going to actually let one of our experts answer that question for you. Yeah, I'm not sure I know the answer off the top of my head.
Thank you. I do have a fiscal note in front of me now, and it looks like going to be minimal cost, but I'll defer to the witness in just a minute as well. Thank you. Hold on just a second. Any other questions from the committee? Senator Nicola.
I just wanted to comment on the fiscal note, and Mr. Chair, I think this is subject to appropriations. Is that correct, Senator?
Well, yes. I believe that'd be right. But right now, I mean, Nick, do you have, what would you say that fund is right now?
Nick Humphrey with the Missouri National Guard. So this legislation would create the revolving fund. There's really two ways that fund could be funded. The governor may, we'll find out today, I guess, if he wants to put some seed money in there for that to be able to start out with some money in it. But even if there's not, the legislation allows the Guard to bill, especially, that some of the groups listed in here that we could assist, the infrastructure groups, those are private entities. So the Guard, if they asked us to come in to help them, like prevent a cyber attack, we would be able to bill them for that, and they would be able to pay for that service if they wanted to use it. So then that money would then go into the fund. So to the senator's point, we would only need spending authority then to be able to spend out of that revolving fund. It would actually be no cost to the state. We would just have to have spending authority for it.
Any additional questions? Okay. Thank you, sir, and thank you, Senator Schnelting. If you would stay put, we may have some questions as they arise as other witnesses come forward. Would you like to add any other information since you're already here?
No, sir. I'll be available, though.
Okay, very good. Any other witnesses? And I'll just reiterate, witness forms, if you wouldn't mind, the complete ones, so we'll have that on hand afterward.
Morning, Mr.
Good
Chairman.
morning.
Major General Hausman, I'm the Adjutant General for the Missouri National Guard. So, Mr. Chairman, distinguished members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today regarding our support for Senate Bill 1003. The Missouri National Guard possesses a unique blend of military discipline and technical expertise, which enables the Guard to respond to evolving needs of the state of Missouri and its citizens. This very important legislation modernizes our statutes relating to military affairs, veterans, and National Guard operations, and it creates a fiscally responsible framework that leverages our federally trained talent to provide a superior level of protection to our citizens and our most critical infrastructure. At the heart of Senate Bill 1003 is the establishment of the Cybersecurity Mission Act. For generations, Missourians have looked to Missouri National Guard during floods and tornadoes. Today, we are increasingly newer and more sophisticated threats to our state, targeting our water systems, power grids, educational institutions, government records, and more. The Cybersecurity Mission Act ensures that the Guard's mission evolves to meet these digital disasters with the same speed and authority that we continue to bring to natural disasters. The Cybersecurity Mission Act, outlined in this bill, authorizes the Guard to prevent cyber attacks through risk assessments, training, and systems protection. And in the event of a cyber incident, the bill authorizes the Guard to be able to respond effectively with incident containment, forensic analysis, and system isolation, as well as to provide ongoing support through technical aid, recovery, mitigation, and guidance. The bill also creates a dedicated cybersecurity revolving fund, which allows the state of Missouri to leverage the federally trained cybersecurity talent in an on-demand basis without the cost of a dedicated full-time state salary. This fund will be supported by legislative appropriations, reimbursements for services rendered, and charges for expenses incurred. Importantly, this mechanism ensures that our cybersecurity initiatives remain sustainable. In addition, the Guard's strategic support would not be limited to any one sector or geographic location. Instead, support would be extended upon request from state agencies, public universities, law enforcement agencies, utility companies, and critical infrastructure facilities throughout the state of Missouri. At its core, the Cybersecurity Mission Act is about identifying vulnerabilities and restoring compromised infrastructure. All operations under this act will be conducted in accordance with applicable state and federal laws, ensuring Missouri's digital defense never comes at the expense of our constitutional rights. Beyond the Cybersecurity Mission Act, Senate Bill 1003 also enhances broader military affairs. It establishes new recognition programs, introducing ribbons for homeland response, counter-drug operations, and explosive ordnance clearance. A ribbon is a nominal expense for the state, but it pays massive dividends in the morale and retention for the men and women who earn it and wear it proudly. This bill also provides essential alignment within Chapter 42 by bringing sections 42.310 through 42.315 under the same proven statutory framework used for our older veteran recognition sections. This formalizes a consistent administrative standard and ensures operational clarity across the entire chapter while preserving the original intent of the statutes. Furthermore, the bill modernizes the Military Family Relief Fund to provide critical expanded support for National Guard members and reservists, ensuring our state's resources evolve alongside the needs of those who serve. In closing, while the cybersecurity provisions serve as a signature component of this legislation, Senate Bill 1003 is a fiscally responsible modernization of Missouri's military affairs. The bill strategically invests in the entire life cycle of our members, from education and active service to their recognition as veterans, while also authorizing the Guard to provide a level of protection to our citizens and infrastructure. I appreciate your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you for that presentation. I was happy to hear, and Senator acknowledged too, and thank you for adding the part that you mentioned, General, about protecting the liberties and constitutional rights of all, not just Missourians, but I think this goes a step further as well, and I'm grateful to hear that. I'm sure others will be pleased that's part of the bill. Are there questions for Major General Hausman? None? Thank you for your testimony. Any other witnesses like to come up and provide testimony? And if you will, even though you completed a witness form for the
Yep.
first one, you need to
I'll
do
do
it
another
again for
one.
this one as well. Thank
Absolutely.
you. And proceed when you're ready.
So, thank you, Chairman Moon. Thank you, Senator Schnelting, for putting this legislation together, and to our committee members, thank you for being here as well. I'll be very brief. I just want to throw the support of the Missouri National Guard Association behind this bill as well. I do think it puts, I always talk about tools in your toolkit, and this puts another tool in the toolkit of the state. And it also, as a former CIO for Rockwood School District in West St. Louis County, it's good to know there are some resources that are available. in the event of a cyber attack, because sometimes you kind of run on an island and you're looking for some corporation to come in to support, and you don't really know if they're going to do a good job or not. I know these cyber people, I've worked with them before, and they will execute at a high level. So, and additionally, the different ribbons that are listed in there, it's always good to recognize people, as General Hausman stated. And many times service members wonder, does anybody really care? And it's just a way to put back to say, hey, this soldier, service member, airman, they put their time and effort, which is the one piece of capital that you don't ever get back when you use your time. And so it recognizes that time used and lets them know that the state cares. So thank you, sir.
Any questions for the witness? Seeing none. Thank you again, General. Any other witnesses? Please come up. Last call. Seeing none. Senator, do you have any final comments? Okay, thanks for your presentation. You're welcome. And that ends the hearing on Senate Bill 1003. And now we go to Senator Roberts. And Senator, please forgive me for overlooking you. We were going in alphabetical order, and I lost track. So it would have been an easy one for me. Senator Roberts has Senate Bill 959.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. I'm Senator Steve Roberts, representing Missouri's 5th District in the city of St. Louis. Thank you for the opportunity to present Senate Bill 959, which establishes the Missouri Geospatial Advisory Council within the Office of Administration. This council will enhance statewide geospatial data infrastructure through research, planning, training, and education, ensuring coordination across all jurisdictions. Other states, including Tennessee, Kentucky, and Utah, have successfully implemented similar councils. They've been instrumental in advocating for next-generation 911 broadband mapping, transportation, and environmental management. I filed this legislation in previous sessions, and it passed unanimously in committee each time. This bipartisan bill has strong support with Representative Taylor, who introduced mirror legislation in the House previously and passed that chamber 156-0. There was a committee sub last year, and we're happy to match that legislation with the caveat that we have had some additional organizations reach out that are interested in a few small tweaks that you might hear about today, as well as adding their participation. With that, I thank you again for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Senator. On the way in, I mentioned a few things that had come to mind with regard to this. And I think this might be the third year we've heard this. I don't recall exactly. However, I think I understand the overarching premise, and I agree with that. Over the last year or so, there have been some things that have come to light with regard to different types of surveillance methods used to track, perhaps, or to identify certain individuals. And I didn't see anything in the bill that would protect the residents of Missouri from those unneeded surveillance.
Sure.
And so I'd like to ask you if you would consider, and we can have some conversation afterward too, to see exactly what that might look like, but would you be opposed to any additions that would put some protecting provisions so that we don't go further than necessarily with things that were mentioned?
Yeah, I'd be glad to work with you on that.
Okay, good. Thank you. There's several things. I won't take up the committee's time there, but it's primarily, as I mentioned. Any other questions for the senator? Go ahead, Senator Nicola.
Senator, hey, thank you.
Yes.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Is this exactly the same bill that you offered last year? Has there been some changes to it?
I believe so, but to caveat, I know there were some other groups that were interested in being on the council as well. So we're still kind of waiting to hear back from them. But I remember we made some concessions before it left the Senate. So I believe the intention was to be the same version that left the Senate.
Okay. That was another question I had, because I don't remember all these council members that you have listed here. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, you filed a bill, you created a council, and a lot of people started to kind of express their interest in being involved in it. So we've kind of been working with that in those organizations as well.
Okay, yeah, because it's like a page and a half here.
It's just very popular, I guess.
And they serve without compensation, but they get reimbursed. So who actually pays them? Is it Office of Administration? Is that where the money?
Yes, it falls under Office of Administration. That's my understanding.
Okay, and I share some of the same concerns as the chairman. And I believe, I didn't make a note in here, but I think I remember, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that some of this information will be available to the public?
Like the council's information.
Not just the council, but even some of the data that's collected. Is that right? Is there some of it actually available?
I would imagine so. I mean, let me double check to get
Okay.
back to you on it. But
Okay.
yeah, they do a lot of different types of gathering of information. So I'm not exactly sure as far as which is publicly released.
Yeah, okay. Well, I appreciate your willingness to work on some more provisions just to protect the public and any of their data and homeowners and their property and things
Yeah,
like that.
absolutely. I think we've got some witnesses here today who might be able to better answer that question than I can.
Perfect, thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
appreciate it.
Any additional questions?
Thank you, Senator. Any witnesses who want to testify on the bill? Come on up.
My name is Scott Penniman. I represent the State 911 Service Board as well as the several other 911 kind of related groups. And we appreciate the senator as well as the chairman. We've been kind of working on the language around this bill for a few years. Real quickly, from the 911 perspective, one of the reasons that we're involved with this kind of currently existing group but wanting to see that formalized is that the state graciously appropriated some ARPA funds a few years ago to help us update maps across the state. NG 911 means I can, regardless of how you contact 911, I can locate you. And to be able to locate you, I have to have accurate maps. And so the state invested about $9 million, and we've been able to, through grants, give those out to counties to take kind of the current maps, right, and update those to that 911 standard. So that means things like my address for my home actually matches on the map where my home is located. It includes center lines for roads because we dispatch really large fire trucks, and if they're on the wrong road or when there's a height restriction, they can't get to where they need to go. So that's probably the biggest utilization of GIS technology from kind of our perspective, and it's something that has application all across industries. The most recent broadband grants that came through the federal government to help make sure we have broadband accessible in rural, specifically parts of our state. To be able to know where you have GIS broadband, you have to be able to map that to an actual map. So it's not just like I pull up Google Maps or Apple driving apps. This is a very detail-oriented look at the actual geography and location of structures. It does not, to, I think, kind of get to a couple of the questions coming. It does not include my name when it comes to when I locate my home address. It locates that structure. And depending upon the use, of course, like for us, for 911, it's going to tell me where that phone is that's contacting 911. So if I'm not home, hopefully it finds me elsewhere. So we appreciate the senator. Yeah, we've worked on several parts of the bill. Happy to continue to do that. We see this as one of those opportunities. Oh, sorry. The information that's publicly available is what I just described. So the other part of what, for instance, that we've done with that $9 million is we did aerial imaging across the state so that you have actual maps for the whole state with north and south, different seasons. And that information is being uploaded into a state server, if you will, and that's accessible. So it's accessible to all of the state departments, obviously, OA, for us, all of our local PSAPs. It's going to be available to almost anyone because it's not personal information. It's not like it says Scott's house or, Senator Roberts is right here kind of thing. It's saying, hey, here's the map, right? You can put on it what you want. And it doesn't include things like taxing jurisdiction, boundaries, those types of things. It's the base layer. Those things get added to. Sorry, so happy to continue to work on the bill. We'd love to see this be our year to get this done. I think it does help create a structure for the state to keep moving forward on those important things.
Yeah, thank you for that, Scott. I think what you mentioned, I believe that, well, I agree. I think the committee probably agrees with that's a necessary step in and providing the necessary information to EMS and all those who need to have it. And as I mentioned to the senator earlier, I think that we need to have some boundaries too. And since things can be added and additional perhaps responsibilities as they might be seen added to it, we want to make sure that all those concerned are protected too. So we might get you in on those discussions as well.
Yeah, happy to do that. And yeah, part of the council growth is that I think what it demonstrates is how vital this information is, right? Being able to coordinate that. And we save a lot of money. Like certain areas like, hey, we're going to update our maps, so we're going to go spend some money. And by being able to coordinate, we're like, well, heck, we just did it. Here it is. Or we partnered with the Department of Natural Resources and one other state department to do those flyovers because they're super important for those agencies. So we saved, a good amount of money by being able to combine those ARPA funds with other state funds. And, part of it is maps are just cool right now. It's part of what we need to be able to figure out our world. So,
yeah, good. Thank you. Any other questions? Senator Cola.
Can you call Apple and work on their Apple Maps?
Boy, would I like to. I would like to, particularly when it comes to figuring out where my teenagers are.
Yeah, right. I do have a question. Thank you
Yes,
for your
sir.
testimony, though. You had mentioned 911. Can you maybe explain how it's working right now? You said that if I call 911, they'll be able to locate me wherever I'm at.
So
So
we.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I
I just wanted
apologize.
to add one more thing.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm always concerned about data. I'm concerned about tracking, tracing. Because when you say that, it makes me wonder, do we have an opt-out? What if I make another phone call? And of course, they can always track cell towers to be able to locate, So if you could just explain that piece
Sure.
of it, the 911.
So, quick general 911. NG 911 is what we need to be able to locate you, regardless of whether you're calling from a landline, a cell phone, texting from an iPad. And we don't have, so across the state, we don't have a single system, right? It's pretty much county-based. For your region, Senator, I believe you're within the MARC area. So they have gone together and multiple counties as well as local jurisdictions to better purchase equipment to move technology, and they save a lot of money by doing it jointly, right? Because it's a bigger package. It's really county by county what level of service they have. One of the things that I personally started working on 911 in the state is that we had about 17 counties that unless you were using a landline and you could tell me where you were at, we couldn't find you. And I have an unfortunately large number of examples where that ended tragically. And so we've moved now every county in the state up to the point where if you're on a cell phone and call 911, we can find you. We're trying to get everyone to be able to do text because that's obviously a huge need, right, for different situations. If you can't talk, if you're in a location where it's not safe to talk, those types of things. But it's a county by county progression. And so the state 911 board, it's appointed by the governor. We've worked incredibly hard. We've put over almost $40 million into helping those locals move up, and to some extent kind of doing what your area has done, where we've grouped lots of counties together to share equipment, so it's cost effective and it's actually cheaper. In terms of that data component, I'm a local 911 center. I don't have anything about you until you hit those three numbers and send, right? And it's at that point the FCC requires your phone company, your provider, to share that location data that they have because you're on a tower or whatever else, right? And that's when I get your location data. As soon as you hang up, I don't know anything else about you. I have that connection for that amount of time, and it literally will populate, and some systems are a little different. It gives me your address. Sometimes it might give me your name, but always it has to include your location. And it's an FCC mandate that every telco has to provide that information. It's as a kind of baseline public safety mechanism. Does that address the
Yeah,
question?
no, it
Okay.
answers it. So, in other words, there's really no opt-out. Like, if I don't want it, and I'm not saying I
Right.
don't, but I'm just saying if, as an option, if I don't want you to know where my location is, I want to be able to tell you, is there an opt-out? Or is it just automatically? It's just, that's just going to happen. You dial 911 and they're going to locate you.
Assuming I have the software and hardware to get that information's been attached to your number for a decade, a long time. And I don't think there is a way to opt out of that.
Okay, that's all right.
It would be an FCC kind of a
Right.
trick thing, and I'm pretty sure the answer is no.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Appreciate
You're
it.
absolutely.
Any other questions for the witness? Thank you.
Thanks, Senator.
Any other witnesses? Please come forward.
Good morning. Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to speak today in support of Senate Bill 959. My name is Andy Deering. I'm Executive Vice President for Bowman Consulting. Bowman Consulting is a national firm providing engineering, planning, and geospatial support. And primarily from our perspective, geospatial is not just a niche technology. It's core to our economic infrastructure. It underpins transportation, utilities, land development, agriculture, public safety, disaster response, and national security. Senate Bill 959 is important because it represents a first but critical step towards positioning Missouri as a leader in a fast-growing, high-wage industry. Other states have already recognized this opportunity. States like Colorado, Virginia, North Carolina, and Texas, as well as the ones that were mentioned earlier, have made intentional investments in coordinating geospatial data and policy across government, academia, and the private sector. Those efforts have paid off on the form of stronger industry clusters, federal partnerships, and job growth. Missouri is uniquely positioned to be even better. We already have major federal and defense-related geospatial assets. We have strong universities and research institutions. We have private companies, large and small, actively working in geospatial technology, analytics, and data services. What we lack today is a formal mechanism to align those strengths under a shared vision. That is exactly what Senate Bill 959 provides. By creating the Missouri Geospatial Advisory Council, this legislation helps reduce duplication, improve coordination, and ensure that public investments in geospatial data are strategic and industry aligned. Just as important, it sends a clear signal to companies considering where to expand or locate that Missouri understands that this industry and is serious about growing it. From an economic development standpoint, this matters. Geospatial jobs are high-skill, high-wage positions that supports veterans, engineers, analysts, planners, and technologists. That attracts private investment that generates tax revenue, and they support innovation across nearly every sector of our economy. So Senate Bill 959 does not mandate spending or creating new bureaucracy. It creates structure, coordination, and opportunity. It lays the groundwork for expanding existing Missouri geospatial companies like mine and attracts new ones in bringing jobs and long-term economic growth to our state. On behalf of Bowman, I respectfully urge the committee to support Senate Bill 959 and help Missouri take this important step towards national leadership in geospatial innovation. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, sir, for your testimony. Are you involved in any of the other states which have implemented this particular type of bill?
Yeah, we work closely with those. My firm does work with those states. Right now, we're working in North Carolina, and they have a well-run. They're graded the top of all the states, and they have a plan, and they save many of millions of dollars each year. But they're able to provide strategic assets to there. What they don't have is a national center of excellence that we've grown in the state of Missouri around geospatial technology and geospatial companies, and so that's why they choose firms like ours coming from Missouri to help support them. That's why we have this great intersection of not only the strengths of our companies and our assets that are here, but also growing a council around this to help more effectively and plan those resources.
You may have mentioned it during your testimony, but how many jobs might be added if this bill were passed by your company alone?
By my company alone, right now we have 150 people located in the state of Missouri, and we plan to grow another 150 more over the next several years.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the witness? Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Any other witnesses? Please come up.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, Senators. Tom Dempsey, registered lobbyist for Greater St. Louis, Inc., here to testify for Senate Bill 959. Mr. Chairman, the establishment of a Geospatial Council in Missouri signals the state's continued interest in growing the use of geospatial technology and furthers efforts to make St. Louis the global center for geospatial excellence. And for that reason, we want to go on record in support of the legislation, and we thank Senator Roberts for his sponsorship.
Thank you. Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Any others? Please come up.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Lynn Schlosser, registered lobbyist for the Missouri Society of Professional Land Surveyors. We'd like to go on the record in support of the bill.
Thank you for your testimony. Any
Thank you.
questions for the witness? Thank you. Next.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Jared Hankinson, representing the Missouri Chamber of Commerce. First and foremost, I want to thank all of the service members in the room for their service and dedication to our country on behalf of myself and the entire Missouri Chamber of Commerce and our membership, so thank you for that. I want to thank the Senator for sponsoring this bill. As you heard earlier, this is not just coordination of strategic assets, but this is a nationwide signal, a global signal that Missouri is embracing innovation and stepping into the future in the right way. And for those reasons, we want to go on the record in support of this legislation. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, thank you. Any additional witnesses?
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Sarah Schlemer here on behalf of Next Missouri. Next Missouri is an organization of entrepreneurs, and we like to support legislation that would help retain and recruit any company that is a startup focusing on innovation, research, and kind of moving into the newer economy that's created from these innovative discoveries. We know that 80% of net new jobs that are created in the state each year are these startups that embrace kind of the new innovation and the new commerce that we see coming from bills like this. So I wanted to thank the senator.
Thank you, Sarah. Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, thank you. Any other witnesses? Scanning the room, I see one additional. Come on up. General.
Got to hit all three of them. So. Might as well, I'm here, right? Senator Moon, Senator Roberts, thank you, and committee, thank you for looking at this bill. From the Missouri National Guard Association side, we support this bill because we see it as an opportunity. We have many soldiers and airmen who are experts working at geospatial, and they're looking for jobs. And this, as just stated, would bring forth more jobs that would give more ability for us to better employ our members. And so, for that, we fully support this bill.
Thank you.
I got to fill out
and I see you grabbing that. That's good. Thank you for your testimony. And any questions for the general? Seeing none, thank you again. Any additional witnesses? Leave on a high note, I guess. Well, Senator, do you have any final comments?
No, just thank you and the committee for your time. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. That concludes the hearing on Senate Bill 959. And with no other known business coming before the Veterans and Military Affairs Committee, I make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? We are adjourned.